When you started the diet, how long did it take you to start feeling better? How do you test for Candida overgrowth? I'm kind of losing hope to even stick through with the diet. Any tips on having the strength to stick through it? Hello, welcome back. My name is Avery. If you're new, I am a holistic nutrition health coach. Today I'm going to be talking about Candida overgrowth, and I'm basically just going through all your questions that you've asked me on my YouTube videos about Candida overgrowth. I have several videos that I'll link down below, and so basically I'm just going to go in and answer all of your questions that you've asked. Well, maybe not all of them, but the ones that I feel like I get asked the most. There's a lot. So, I mean, I have like a whole, I don't even know if you can see that, but I have a whole list here of questions. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. And if I don't answer your question in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below of the question and I'll try to answer it. Starting off with, what were your symptoms during the Candida overgrowth? So I had a lot of different symptoms. It's hard to pinpoint exactly which ones were specifically from the Candida overgrowth, but I would say I was getting yeast infections, I was having a lot of acne and breakouts, I was having really bad fatigue and anxiety and depression, like some mental health issues. Those are just some symptoms that I was having, but you can have a variety of different symptoms. It really just depends. Next question is, curious if you know what strain you had. I had an overgrowth of Candida albicans. I'm not too familiar with the other Candidas out there, but that was the results that I got back from my blood work. It was Candida albicans. How many meals and calories were you consuming? So I didn't track my calories, but I would say that I had about 2 or 3 meals a day. But yeah, I wasn't tracking my calories or anything. Yeah, 2 or 3 meals a day. Did you have terrible die-off symptoms like nausea and the keto flu type symptoms, and how long did it last? So I personally didn't have a lot of die-off symptoms, and I think that's because I was basically paleo for a year leading up to the Candida cleanse. Also, this is my dog Millie. So I was doing like a paleo-based diet up until I was doing the Candida cleanse. So I think that really helped with my die-off symptoms. Like, I didn't have anything extreme, but you can definitely get like flu-like symptoms and kind of feel sick before you start feeling better. When you started the diet, how long did it take you to start feeling better? I would say within a month I was feeling better. Definitely within 2 months I was feeling like really good. But I basically did the Candida cleanse, Candida diet, whatever you want to call it. I did it for about 4 months. So I would say that first and second month is when I really started to notice that I was feeling really good, had more energy, and I was also supplementing with some things that I was deficient in, so I'm sure that helped as well. But yeah, about 1 or 2 months. How do you test for Candida overgrowth? So I did a blood test, and then I also did a stool analysis, and then I am pretty sure if you're a woman, you can test if you do like your annual pap smear. Pretty sure that they can test if you have like an overgrowth that way as well. But I would say the two main ways is through a stool analysis and blood work. Why did you decide not to use the pharmaceutical antifungals like diflucan? So I just really wanted to go a natural route, taking the prescription medication. Like, obviously there's nothing wrong with it. Some people really do need that. But for me, I wanted to go a more natural route through supplements and food, and that was really my decision to do that. I've also heard that if you take diflucan, it can kill it off really quickly, and it can kind of come back maybe even worse too. That's just my opinion on that. Did you struggle with lazy bowel / constipation with Candida? So that is one of the symptoms, is if you're having like irregular bowel movements. I don't remember having anything like that. I think maybe I would have the occasional like diarrhea or something, but I don't believe that I was constipated. I was really making sure that I was having daily bowel movements at least once or twice a day. During the Candida protocol, did you experience any strange skin issues? I definitely had some acne, and sometimes I would get like little random rashes too, but a lot of people can experience eczema and other skin issues too. So yeah, it's definitely normal to experience skin problems when having Candida overgrowth, but while you're doing that cleanse, it should clear up. What time of day did you take antifungals, and how much time did you put between taking antifungals and probiotic? Okay, so with the antifungals, I have a whole video. I'll link it here if you want to see it. But I have a whole video on all the antifungals that I took. Honestly, I just took them when I remembered them. Some of them I would take in the morning. Some of them I would just take them when I remembered them. And as far as probiotics go, so during the beginning of my cleanse, I did not take any probiotics because sometimes that can feed the bad bacteria as well as the good bacteria in your body. So I stayed away from probiotics. I just got my pre and probiotics through food that I was eating. So yeah. Did you rotate your antifungals? I did not. I know that some people do, especially with oil of oregano. I think you're actually supposed to rotate that, but I didn't do it. But with the oil of oregano, I think ideally it's 2 weeks off, or sorry, 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, and like rotate it like that. So you could totally do that with your antifungals. The doctor that I was seeing at the time just didn't think that it was necessary. Did you take any kind of liver support like milk thistle or NAC? I did take milk thistle, and I believe I was taking NAC during that time. I have taken both of those before, and they're amazing supplement support for Candida overgrowth and your liver, of course. So that's a great addition if you are doing the Candida cleanse. I'm kind of losing hope to even stick through with the diet. Any tips on having the strength to stick through it? I know it's really, really challenging. I've been there, and it is hard. And I would just say, do the best that you can. Do it during a time when you are more likely to have success. So don't do it around the holidays, or if you have like a big vacation coming up or a birthday or something like that where you're tempted to go off the protocol. Do it during a time when you know that there's nothing really coming up, and you have at least, I mean, I did it for over 90 days, but I would say at least doing the cleanse for like 6 weeks to 2 months is like really ideal. So whatever time of year you have, at least like 2-3 months to do the cleanse, I would do that. So maybe the fall or the springtime, or either right after the holidays, something like that may help with your success. But don't overwhelm yourself. Just do the best you can and reach out to people that are also going through it. Have like a little support group. And yeah, I mean, I can make a whole video on just like helpful tips and tricks to have success during the Candida cleanse, but just do the best you can. Don't be too hard on yourself. And I'm telling you, it's so worth it too. And you're gonna start to feel better and sleep better and function better, and your health is worth it. If this diet is meant to be followed for just a few months, does it mean that Candida can't come back? Yes, Candida overgrowth can come back. It's not something that if you get rid of, it will never come back again. It can definitely come back if you're not careful. You definitely want to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. Obviously having things in moderation and not going too overboard with certain foods or alcohol. And you know, there's a lot of different ways to kind of keep Candida overgrowth at bay and not come back. It definitely can. Just try to maintain a very healthy lifestyle. You could even do like a mini cleanse once a year for like a few weeks if you want to just kind of make sure that it's not going to come back. You can kind of do something like that. I wanted to ask if you used vinegar or balsamic vinegar during your cleanse. Also, would you eat mustard? I specifically had apple cider vinegar. That's the one that I liked the best during the cleanse. Not sure about balsamic vinegar. I would have to see the ingredients in that. But apple cider vinegar, yes. Mustard, yes, you can have mustard. Just make sure that it doesn't have any sugar in it. And there's also mustard that you can get specifically with apple cider vinegar. But yeah, just make sure it doesn't have sugar in it. What do you do when you had sugar cravings? This was really hard. I would honestly try to drink like a warm drink, like warm bone broth, turmeric ginger latte. You can sweeten some things with like monk fruit. So I did that sometimes. Sometimes I would bake with monk fruit. You can also have chocolate. So chocolate is great. Just make sure it doesn't have any sugar in it. But if it's sweetened with like monk fruit or even stevia is a little bit better. I don't love stevia. Monk fruit is preferred, but you can have chocolate and stuff. But the sugar cravings do go away. Once you kind of train your body that you're not gonna be getting it every time you crave it, your body learns to just not crave it as much. And so it does get better, it does get easier. Can natural yogurt be included in the Candida diet? So I didn't have any dairy products during the Candida cleanse, but you can have like coconut yogurt and maybe some other vegan yogurts. Coco June is really great for that. They're an amazing brand, and you can also get a little bit of probiotics that way. Next question is, did you eat mushrooms? I did not eat mushrooms. This is kind of a controversial topic. For me, like, Candida overgrowth is a fungus in your body. And so in my mind, I didn't want to eat anything that was a type of fungus. So eating mushrooms wasn't in my normal diet that much. So I didn't have a problem cutting it out and just not eating it. So I personally didn't, but that's just my opinion. I've heard some people say that you can, but maybe just limit it to 1 or 2 times a week, not every single day. Can you eat oats? I didn't eat any grains during my Candida cleanse, and so oats are a grain, even if they're gluten-free. I didn't have anything like that. Can you eat beans? I did not have any beans or legumes during the cleanse. I ate like pretty much a paleo-based diet, so I didn't eat any beans or legumes. I'm not saying that you can't, but I did not. Do I need to test before doing the cleanse? I would, because why would you want to do a whole cleanse and restrict yourself and stress yourself out if you don't need to, you know? So if you can, do the stool test or do blood work before doing the cleanse. If you're constantly having yeast infections, if you have that white tongue, those are like really big indicators that you do have Candida overgrowth. So maybe just doing the cleanse for a few weeks to see if it improves. And if it does improve, then I would just kind of keep doing it for a little bit. Do you still have allergies / intolerances after your cleanse? So I did notice that a lot of my food allergies and intolerances went away. There was still a lot of gut healing that I needed to do, and I'm still in that process. So it takes a long time. I would say they definitely did improve. Can Candida be the culprit to having very low B12? Yes. Candida overgrowth can deplete you of some vitamins and minerals, and B12 is definitely one of them. So if your blood work is constantly coming back with low B12, I would say do a little bit of further investigating. Can I eat dark chocolate? Yes, you can eat dark chocolate. I would make sure that it's organic and it doesn't have any sugar and doesn't have any dairy. So just raw cacao, baby. You can have some chocolate though. It is kind of harder to find. I think you would have to search online. If I can, I'll link some chocolates down below that's like Candida friendly. But yeah, you can have dark chocolate. Can I have coffee? Yes, you can have coffee. I am not a coffee drinker, but I will say a lot of coffee has mold in it. So just make sure that it's organic, make sure that it's been tested, and really high quality coffee. So you're not drinking moldy coffee. Can we eat buckwheat? Yes, buckwheat is one of the things that you can make and you can bake with, cook with. It is Candida friendly. I would say just don't have like too much of it, but yeah, you can have buckwheat. Can you eat eggs with the Candida diet? Yes, you can have eggs as long as you're not like intolerant to eggs, but yes, you can eat eggs during the Candida diet. Is brown rice good to eat? Brown rice is great to eat, but not with the Candida overgrowth because it can help feed the Candida. Grains in general can contribute to that Candida overgrowth. I'm not saying you can't ever have it during the cleanse, but just don't have it every single day. You know, like have it in very, very small portions. If you can't avoid it altogether, I think that would just be best. And then slowly reintroduce it back into your diet. That's the way that I did it. Do what's best for you. And if brown rice is something that you have every single day, I would just try having it every other day, and then maybe once a week, and then just see if you have improvements with that. But it can be one of the things that can feed that Candida overgrowth. So I didn't have brown rice. Cassava flour, high carb. Yes, cassava flour can be high carb. It just really depends on how much you're eating. I think this person asked this because in a lot of my Candida videos, I say that cassava flour is a great substitute for grains, which it totally is. Just don't have it every day. Don't have it at every meal. Don't have it at every day. There was another question about my carb limit. It says, what was your carb limit for the day and per meal? So again, I didn't track my macros, so I'm not really sure. But I would say I was definitely eating a low carb diet because carbs can help feed that Candida overgrowth. I would say I did under like 50 grams. So I'm not exactly sure the limit, but if you're having something with carbs in the morning, don't have that same amount of carb at lunch and dinner. Like try to keep it under 50 grams, I think. Some days you go over it, that's okay, don't be too hard on yourself. But I would say a low carb diet is really best with Candida overgrowth. I'm not saying you can't have any carbs, just try to keep it low carb. How can one have a more frequent bowel movement? So it's really important to have daily bowel movements, especially on the Candida cleanse, because you're gonna wanna get rid of the toxins that the die-off can release into your body. So I would say eat more fiber, greens, drink a lot of liquid. Chia seed pudding is great. Yeah, you definitely want to be having daily bowel movements. Would you do a body care routine? What products do you use to maintain healthy skin and body while dealing with Candida? So yeah, one of the main symptoms of Candida is having skin issues. I would just say practice having good hygiene. I'll list some things down below that help keep my skin clear, so you can go and check out those products. But I would just say practice good hygiene, washing your face, washing your skin. Don't touch it too much. Make sure that you're only touching it after you have like clean hands, and drink lots of water. Water is great and it makes your skin glow. But I will list some skincare stuff down below. Can you elaborate on how you took the antifungals? Did you blend oil of oregano with something and ingest? Did you eat garlic straight? So again, I have a video about my antifungals that I took. So with the oil of oregano, I did take the liquid form, like literally an oil. You can get it in a supplement form too, like in a little pill. So I put that in some water because it's really, really strong. So put it in some water, 6 to 8 ounces of water, chug it, and then you could have like something to eat after, because it does leave like a kind of taste in your mouth. But if you're just doing the pill form, I didn't like mix it with anything. I just took it with my other supplements. And did you eat garlic straight? I guess they mean like raw. You can totally do that. I just mainly put garlic in my food, or like whatever I was cooking, I put it in dressing. Anything that I could put garlic and onion in, because those are great antifungals, I just put it in that dish. How did you get rid of that white coating on your tongue? So I didn't have a lot of white coating on my tongue. I did notice that I had it sometimes. There's actually a tongue scraper that you can get, and I do this every single morning. First thing when I wake up, obviously I go to the bathroom, but I will tongue scrape, and I'll scrape that bacteria and mucus and whatever is on my tongue. I'll scrape it off. So I would say getting one of those is great, and doing the cleanse should help with that. I was wondering if sourdough is okay on the Candida diet. So I didn't have sourdough. Like I said, didn't have any grains, or like I didn't have a lot of fermented foods, because sometimes that can help feed the bad bacteria too, especially if you have like an overgrowth of something, can help feed the yeast. So I didn't incorporate that until like the end of my diet. I just have a few more to go through. So after the cleanse, what did you eat? Did you go back to dairy, grains, and sugar? So I still kind of ate a paleo-based diet for, I would say, a year or two after the cleanse. Every once in a while, I would have grains and I would have dairy. This year, I really tried to add those things back into my diet, like dairy, grains, and sugar. I have a really hard time still with sugar. If I have a lot of sugar, my skin will immediately break out and like indicate that my body does not like it. Similar thing with gluten. I just can't have it every day. Same thing with dairy too. Those are just my trigger foods. I just have them in moderation now. Maybe there'll be another time where I cut them out for a little bit too. But my skin is the first thing I notice after I eat something. If it's bad for me, my skin will let me know. So I would say sticking to a paleo diet really helped me, but that's just me personally. Everyone is so different. So maybe you can add those things back in and not have an issue, but I would just say really listen to your body and just see how it reacts after you eat those things. Can I break my diet once in a few weeks to drink alcohol? Okay, well, I guess it depends on how much alcohol you're drinking. I didn't have any alcohol during those 4 months of the cleanse. It's best to avoid it. If you want to have like 1 glass of champagne or something, like if you're at a wedding and you want to have a glass of champagne, it's not going to ruin your cleanse. But I would just say it's best to avoid it. You know, alcohol is a toxin. It's not good for your body. I'm not going to say that it's going to ruin your cleanse, but just avoid it. Just avoid it. Okay, last question is, I am wondering what you did after the cleanse was over. I presume it is not advisable to go straight away to all the restricted foods. How did you handle that? So you definitely want to add in those foods that you cut out for so long very slowly. Like, don't have dairy, gluten, sugar, all those things in one day. Go at a slow pace. Like if you want to have some beans, add a little bit of beans, wait a few days, maybe have a little bit more. So you definitely want to introduce things slowly. I've made the mistake many times of introducing foods back in all at once, and then my body gets like overwhelmed. So I would say add them back in slowly in small portions would be best. But really listening to your body is going to be the best way for you to know if it's working for you or not. And your body can communicate with you in different ways. You know, if you're sleeping bad, if you're breaking out, if you're having brain fog, anxiety, like mental health issues, like those are all the things that your body can be telling you like something's wrong. So you really just want to make note of that and be present with your body and pay attention to those things. And they also asked like, how did I handle it? I did the cleanse in 2021 and it's about to be 2024 right now, so which is just crazy. You know, you just got to do what's best for you. Don't worry about what your friends are doing, what your family's doing, what they're eating, how they're living their life. Just do what you want to do and be in alignment with yourself. That's where you're going to find the healthiest version of yourself, the happiest, and you're going to be so grateful that you did the cleanse, listen to your body, listen to your intuition. So that's how I would handle it. Obviously, I have my bad days. I'm not always in alignment with myself. I don't always listen to my body, but I would say the majority of the time, that's what I try to do, and that's what I encourage you to do as well. Okay, I think that's it. That's all the questions that I have, but if I didn't answer your question, please leave it down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my website and you can find some of the services that I have to offer with my health coaching, and I'll be launching an ebook very, very soon, so you can subscribe to my newsletter for that. But give this video a like. Oh my gosh. Give this video a like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.